This portion of the Dirty Overhaul Rock Show is brought to you by After Hours Tavern, located at 1614 North Main Street in High Point, North Carolina, for the nights you may not remember with friends you will never forget.
Want to play something? I gotta go. My parents just came in. Are you trying to drive me crazy? How about Pretty Please? Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please.
All right, welcome back. This is the Dirty
Welcome.
Overhaul Rock Show after a long hiatus.
Hiatus.
Isn't that a fun word to say?
I had a hiatal hernia one time.
I had a hiatus once, but I went to a doctor. He gave me some cream and ointment and cleared it right up.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Somebody called me Colonel Sanders online. I don't know what that means.
That's because you got a big cock.
I wish. If I did, I wouldn't be stuck in here with you in this apartment. I'd be out living my life.
Hey, you've got me right where you want me.
Hey, they call me Long Dong Silver. But hopefully, in the upcoming weeks, we're going to start getting some people to call in. We're going to start doing like we were before, but at a bigger
bad radio.
Yeah, well, awesomely bad radio, but we're going to try to do it the best we can. I guess we do shitty radio better than anyone else. I think we're number one in that category.
So I was talking about earlier about things you should eat, like talking about eating at a gig and things like that.
Oh, my God.
I came across this today. There's this website out there called gigmasters.com.
Okay.
And this was so interesting, I had to bring it up. 5 things you should never do. You should never do at a gig.
Oh, God.
Now, some of these are a little crazy, but
we did that last week, all of them.
Listen to some of these. Over the years, and this is gigmasters.com, it says, over the years, we've gotten a lot of feedback from party planners, venue managers, hosts of all kinds about the professionals they've hired for their event and how they acted.
Right.
That being said, it's hard not to cringe every time a bad review rolls in. So we went ahead and rounded up some of the most frowned upon behavior for your reference on what not to do at a gig. But don't worry, we also threw in 3 things at the end that will work in your favor, what you can do.
Okay.
Now let's run through these.
That wasn't me.
Number 1, you should never smoke, drink, or eat at a gig.
Yeah!
It's
Okay.
those
We
first.
just broke all those last week.
Yes, we did. Especially the smoking part.
No, the eating part.
Well, yeah. But those first 2 should be a given. If you want to continue booking gigs with a credible reputation intact, never, we repeat, never, light up a smoke, drink alcohol anywhere near your clients, and remember, you're not an event attendee, so partying with them is a no-go. Now,
You mean if you're in a wedding band or something?
Yeah, because some of these seem a bit... I mean, if you're on a cruise ship, I could see that. But it didn't specify. It just said at a gig.
Yeah.
The second thing you should never do is talk or text on your phone. Well, that puts Steve out. It says, again, it's simply improper conduct.
God.
It shows that you aren't truly present and that you have a lack of self-control.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
and I'm like, we all have lack of self-control, but it has nothing to do with our phones. Number
Bodily functions.
Number 3, you shouldn't talk smack about your competition.
Oh, God.
Okay, we're dead in the water on that one.
Damn. So far, we're 0 for 3.
All right, it says, no matter how much you dislike your competition or consider yourself more talented,
Oh,
and I'm
my
putting my
God.
fingers in the air,
That's we're the divas.
you should never belittle them in front of a client.
Which I would never do that. I mean, to our band when we get together.
Yeah.
We talk shit about everybody, but not in front of a bar owner. That's fucked up.
No, we wait till we
We
get in
do
a little
know
corner.
other people who have done that
Yeah.
who said they were our friends.
And that's the thing. We don't talk shit about anybody else unless it's to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say whatever you do, don't stoop as low as to discredit an industry peer.
Right.
Number 4, be vulgar. So that means put your ding-dongs away.
Yeah.
It says, this one may stand out to all of the entertainers out there. Sure, there's something to be said for being edgy,
Yeah.
Brian Hall.
Yeah.
Inserting a few expletive
I like how you said
cursing
inserting.
into your banter with the audience. Many party goers enjoy that sort of thing, but unless a client is specifically requesting a style like that, it's best you leave the dildos at the door.
What if you get bored during the show and you want to liven up your performance?
Well, and here's the next thing. Number 5, sit down. Don't sit down.
Ooh, I know a guitar player that did that one time.
Okay, now this one might seem a bit drastic to some. Gigs can span multiple hours at a time, and in some cases it's certainly acceptable to take brief breaks, but never leave the premises during one. They underscore that.
What if you sit down while the rest of the band is tearing down?
Well, I mean, if you're on stage, we've been ridiculed for that. I mean, if you've got a broken leg or you're
I got to talk to the fans.
hurt, but it's saying
if you
it just says don't do it.
What if you say you have a bad back and then you lay on the floor and
It says
like somebody we used to know?
Yeah, I know. It says it can look lazy or sloppy on your part, so it's best that you rest up beforehand and brace yourself to be up and on your feet throughout the duration of any gig.
It creates a standard of idealized beauty that your average man can't compete with.
Thanks.
So, now, having said all that, here's 3 things that you should do. We don't do this one.
Yeah.
Carry business cards.
Yeah, and
That's not a
people
lot of
ask
bands that
for
do
them
that.
all the time.
It says you never know who you might run into at a gig, and it's always a good idea to keep a couple of business cards on hand.
We might run into Travis Tritt.
You might. Number 2, keep backup contact info handy. This one is particularly important for large-scale gigs like weddings, festivals, which we never do.
Yeah,
Corporate
yeah.
events. That would be
Corporate events,
that'd
yeah.
be Kevin's old band.
Yeah.
Should there be a day off question or last-minute emergency, don't depend on the primary contact, bride, event director, so on and so forth.
You mean you just can't say call Jimmy?
Yeah, that's what we do. We just say call Jimmy. And number 3, you should smile, in the exception of Tiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, teeth, unless you're missing a significant amount of teeth.
Never underestimate the importance of a genuine smile.
Yeah.
So those are the 5 things you should never do, and 3 things that you can do.
Unless
at a
you have
gig.
summer teeth, and then
Summer teeth, yeah. But Tiefer he's my hero.
Tiefer Sutherland. Oh God.
So what are we going to do now?
Oh, is Dr. Jinga Janga in?
Sorry, I've missed this so much.
just clicking sound effects.
Yeah.
We had a segment on this show a while back that Brian would like to refer to when looking at his Facebook. Brian, you want to tell him what it's
It
called?
was called Set on My Facebook, and what we did was we might have read some comments that somebody had put on, and let's see what we've got here so far, if any. I don't know. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. Looks like
much.
somebody here, guess who is doing a live podcast right now? That's what I put. Somebody put Colonel Sanders. No, that's a big no. And then somebody asked if it was Elvis, and that is also a big, hell no.
Now, Ian Bartholomew had left a message for you. I don't see a picture, but I got to know what's going on. It says, your best Photoshop ever. I'm honored in some kind of screwed up way. What's that all about?
If you'll go to my site, I did a picture of this guy standing there with a bunch of women, and the one woman had her shoe down between the guy's legs, and it looks just like a penknife. And I had it on there for all of about 3 minutes when somebody reported it as bad. And since then, he's got like 71 comments, and it's probably the best Photoshop response I've ever had. And I don't know. It's I mean, anytime I use Ian, for some reason, I get a lot. Let me see if I can find it.
Now, you were bombing people the other night with a certain chocolate Easter surprise.
Yeah. I get very bored sometimes, so
Yeah, I know.
I feel the need to aggravate the shit out of people.
Oh, wait, I see the picture now. It's got Ian kind of bent over
yeah,
like he's
smiling and
yeah, and there's a whole bunch of women. It looks it's a shoe, but it's strategically placed.
The other one I did was this guy Shane Christian, a guy that I grew up with back home in West Virginia,
God.
and he was asleep, and he's a paramedic, and I did a picture of. Let me go ahead and tag you in this.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, this is probably one of my all-time favorites also. But he was asleep, and then I made this woman like looking through the window, and it turned out really, really good.
Well, of course, there's the photo of you in Virginia last week opening up your shirt with your derailed shirt on.
Yeah, I wanted, and then on the back I wanted to put "Your ass just got derailed, bitch." That's what I want on their shirts, but I don't think Steve Pullum's excited about that.
He's not crazy about
See, I'm an idea man. And,
you just come up with those
yeah,
ideas.
for other people. I can't come up with shit for us, but I don't know.
Hey, Dave, you got an idea for a back of a T-shirt? No? Well, here's a couple.
I usually call Dave up during the day, hey, let's do this, and then we don't ever do it.
But, you put it out there. And
Yeah.
Now, I put on Facebook tonight that the Love Doctors are in.
Yeah, we're planning a special, if you will.
Yeah, we'll mind your business for you. If you have a relationship issue, if you have a significant other, and
You want to
think,
know, like some of you ladies are like, hey,
you're so gullible.
why can't I find a good man? And we'll tell you why.
Well, if you called 336-489-0152, you would find one.
Oh, are the phone lines open right now?
The phone lines are open. I put on Facebook that we were going to be taking calls starting around 9.
Well, let's put it on there early, and let's see if anybody. Let's put it up the old flagpole and see who salutes.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, by the way, on YouTube. It is youtube.com, of course, Dirty Overhaul Rock Show. You can just search it on YouTube, and you can go to our Facebook page as well, and you can like us there, Dirty Overhaul Rock Show, and like us and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
And help support us and get as many listeners as we possibly can.
Yeah, and if you like us, make sure you tell us what you like about the show, and if you don't like something about the show, then go screw yourself.
I thought you were husband.
Yeah.
Hey,
But we really take criticism well.
Unless it's something that we don't like.
Unless it's something we don't like or we don't agree with. No. I thought this was pretty cool. I read this the other day. Everybody knows about the big Motley Crue. This is their final tour, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that 1,000 times by every other rock band from the 80s. And some of them we wish would go away. So, some of the bands around here would stop playing it, including us. But what I heard that Tommy Lee has already signed on to play on the next Smashing Pumpkins CD.
Really?
Which is going to be weird. I guess that's what he's going to do from now on, like guest star on people's stuff.
Well, a lot of people are filling in for people, guest starring with people, and stuff like that. And I guess that's okay unless you're playing in Tim Pool's band.
Oh my God! I know you didn't say that.
Yeah, I said it. And now I feel like I have to go there. If in case you haven't heard about it, our keyboard player who
Former keyboard player.
Yeah, our former
who
keyboard
left
player
for greener pastures.
How long was he in the band? 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. He left us to go play with Sucker Punch and was there 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And he was going at one point to go play with Susie Nelson's band, Heart Brigade.
Who's tearing it up right now.
They're just eating alive, and they're a great band. They're friends of ours and friends of the show. And I get a call the other day that Kevin Brown was let go of his duties from Sucker Punch for no real apparent reason, from what I hear. Now, Kevin is a little eccentric, to say the least, at times, but he's a good guy. I like Kevin.
Very dependable, very
talented guy.
Talented.
And from what I understand, he found out on Facebook, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about 2 clubs, like in a month's time.
Oh, yeah.
That shut down. We didn't get a phone call. They put on Facebook, and that's how we found out, which I think is not good. It's not
Sucks.
professional. I think if you're going to have going to close down or you're going to fire somebody, at least have the balls enough to call them up,
Yeah.
come by and see them or
Because
whatever.
a lot of people, they're depending on that money, or they've made plans.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, Kevin had made some comments about how,
he was tired of
Things-
sitting around, and
it's slow. I mean, it's slow for everybody. And they do the corporate gigs, and so anyway, I hear that Susie had called Kevin to say, well, sorry to hear about being let go from the band. And he said, what do you mean? Because he had deleted a thread on there, and he didn't even read the last one of the comments that basically said, well, we don't need you anymore, more or less.
wow.
So so that's I just thought that was kind of low. And
Of course, we're this stuff is alleged. This is what we've heard.
yeah, this is just what I've heard.
Yeah, which
and,
if it is true, that's kind of screwed up. But
yeah, and I just didn't think that was
Kevin's
very
such a good
professional.
guy, such a good guy, and he depended on that gig, I know, for his income. And then, and he was selling his body, and that's why he's very skinny right now.
It's true. But yeah, he had to find out from a phone call, and I just thought that was kind of unprofessional.
Now, when we fired him, no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
We at least we bought him a thing of donuts. And,
So I think is Kevin on the line now? I think he has a message. Hang on, let me check the phones here. Hang on a second.
yeah.
What if I can get this thing rolling?
That
But,
sound you heard, ladies and gentlemen, it's called
What's the ratings going down?
it's called professionalism at its best.
that was the sound of the ratings dropping.
While you're doing that, just a second.
Yeah, this is Kevin Green. Kevin Brown. He called in. He had a message.
Oh God, I got a feeling Dave and I will be shot very soon. We can't do our little gargoyle like that.
And once again, this is Kevin called in earlier with this recorded message, and we thought we'd play it out there, just put it out there, and just let you guys listen to it. So anyway, we're going to take another quick break, and
Hopefully we'll be back.
hopefully we'll be back.
Dave's going to get me killed also.
Oh, but
Just remember that was
well, what's the good of having a show if you can't stir it up a little bit?
yeah.
But we are going to be right back.
We're going to go burn one.
We might burn two. So this has been Dirty Old Hard Rock Show. We'll be right back.